Imagine this, Ethereum was never supposed to exist. Vitalik Buterin once applied for a job at Ripple and left not with a rejection, but with a mission. What if the entire $3 trillion crypto market is just a sandbox, a test environment, while the real players have been quietly preparing to capture the $120 trillion corporate finance world? Welcome back, this is Katz. Today we're unpacking a decade-long chess game. Why did a 19-year-old Vitalik get turned down for a job, but walk away with the blueprint for Ethereum? Why did Bitcoin and Ethereum take every hit, every hack, while XRP stayed untouched? And why did Ripple just spend $1 billion acquiring a company you've probably never heard of? One that processes $12.5 trillion a year? Let's connect the dots. 2013, Vitalik Buterin is 19. Obsessed with blockchain, he sees Ripple as the future. At the time, Ripple's already working on a revolutionary payment system, using a distributed ledger for global banking. Vitalik flies to California, stays for weeks at CTO Stefan Thomas's place, visits Ripple HQ, studies the system's architecture, pitches ideas. Meanwhile, Stefan Thomas is developing Codius, the world's first smart contract platform built on Ripple tech. Programmable money, automatic execution without middlemen, pure revolution. But Ripple has a problem. They're working with banks, real ones, with regulators, compliance, reputations to protect. They can't afford experiments that might blow up trillions in financial flows. So Ripple looks at Vitalik and thinks, what if we let him build this idea, just not under our brand? No regulatory heat, no institutional risk. Let the world believe it's an open experiment by a teenage genius. Publicly, Ripple says no. Vitalik leaves, frustrated. He builds Ethereum. Smart contracts explode. DeFi is born. NFTs take over culture. Everyone mocks Ripple. Idiots. They turn down the prodigy. But look what happens next. Ethereum becomes the testbed for blockchain innovation, thousands of projects, billions of dollars, and the hacks begin. The DAO, $50 million gone. Poly Network, $600 million. Ronin Bridge, $620 million. Wormhole, Nomad, BNB Chain, the list never ends. Every exploit becomes a lesson, every failure patches the system. Developers fix bugs, standards evolve. Ethereum takes all the punches in public. Meanwhile, XRP Ledger, launched in 2012, runs for over a decade. Zero catastrophic hacks, not one. Why? Because XRP Ledger isn't a playground. It's a production system for banks and Fortune 500 institutions, where downtime equals disaster. The logic is simple. Ethereum absorbs the chaos. The code gets hardened. Once the tech is proven stable, Ripple integrates it. Ethereum tests, XRP deploys. Ethereum is the sandbox. XRP is the final product. That rejection wasn't a snub. It was strategy. Everyone calls Bitcoin digital gold, the first crypto, the revolution. But here's the quiet truth. Bitcoin was never the final version. It was a proof of concept, a technological demo. The pseudonymous Satoshi Nakamoto crew launched it to prove that decentralized money works. They made it viral, gave early adopters fortunes, and established public trust in digital assets. But Bitcoin's limitations were obvious. 7 transactions per second, energy burn equal to a mid-sized country, fees up to $50, vulnerable to a 51% attack. It wasn't broken, it was unfinished. The elites watched and thought, okay, blockchain works. People accept digital money, now let's build the real one. Faster, cheaper, scalable. And they did. XRP Ledger. 1,500 transactions per second. Fees less than a cent. Confirmations in 3 to 5 seconds. Institutional grade from day one. Fun fact, Satoshi himself once wrote that besides Bitcoin, the only other crypto he admired was XRP. Coincidence? And now, the end game. Just days ago, Ripple announced a $1 billion acquisition of GTreasury. Most people said, who? Here's who. GTreasury handles $12.5 trillion annually for over 1,000 major corporations. Coca-Cola, GE, Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer. That's Fortune 500 territory. Those are the clients now inside Ripple's ecosystem. GTreasury is the gateway to a $120 trillion corporate payments market, 40 times the size of the entire crypto industry. Here's the play. GTreasury currently runs on Swift. A company in Germany pays a supplier in Japan. The money crawls through 5 correspondent banks, each skimming fees taking 3 to 5 days. Billions trapped in limbo. Replace that with XRP. 3 seconds. Pennies in cost. No intermediaries. Ripple didn't just buy a company, they bought infrastructure and injected XRP into it. Bitcoin proved the concept, people would adopt digital cash. Ethereum stress-tested the tech, smart contracts, DeFi, NFTs, the chaos of open innovation. XRP Ledger was built as the industrial-grade version, for institutions, for banks, for scale. Vitalik didn't get rejected, he got deployed. Ripple fought the SEC and won legitimacy, then bought GTreasury and gained access to trillions. This isn't 3 separate stories, it's one long plan. Bitcoin is Nokia. It showed we needed mobile phones. Ethereum is Android. Open, messy, experimental. XRP is the iPhone. Closed, polished, ready for global rollout. While the crypto tribes fought over ideology, Bitcoin versus Ethereum, DeFi versus CeFi, banks versus decentralization, Ripple played the long game. Quiet meetings with central banks, acquisitions, compliance infrastructure, building bridges while everyone else was tweeting memes. At first, I thought XRP was just a banker's coin, too centralized, too corporate. But then I saw the pattern. GTreasury, Fortune 500, 120 trillion in flows. Ethereum tested tech, and it hit me. Bitcoin was the beta test. Ethereum was the lab. XRP is the deployment. The final version, Del N, built for the global financial takeover. And while institutions move in, we've still got a window. That's why we built Katz Wallet, non-custodial self-sovereign storage. Your keys, your coins, staking, real-time whale alerts, automatic airdrop tracking. When Fortune 500 starts settling $120 trillion through XRP, demand won't just rise, it'll explode. If this theory holds, XRP's value won't be counted in cents, or dollars, or even tens. Bitcoin proved the idea. $100,000 a coin. Ethereum refined it. $4,000. XRP will own the system. So what's the price then? 10, 50, 100, 500? The question isn't if, it's when. Subscribe. Hit the bell, because what's coming next will flip everything you think you know about crypto upside down.